Alright, what's up? Alright, what's up guys? I'm Alan.
I'm Albert.
And we had no fucking clue what we were in store for.
Yep.
Alright, long time no see everybody.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a different environment. I think last time, for those of you that did follow along, we were at a whole different place, physically, mentally, emotionally. And so a different type of video today. Wanted to make it something less vloggy and more kind of informational. And for those of you that don't know, I'm Alan.
Albert.
And we started a company together for the past year. We raised $500,000 from YCombinator. And for the past 13 or 14 months, we failed miserably. Yes. Cool. And I wanted to talk a little bit about things we would have done differently and some hard lessons that we've learned along the way for anyone that's interested. A little background on how we actually ended up doing a startup together. Back in June of last year, we ended up pitching to YCombinator. We ended up getting that investment with a data infrastructure idea. Fast forward like 7-8 months, it took us that amount of time to realize that nobody wanted what we had. And so that was a hard pill to swallow. What's one thing that you would do differently if we could start over?
One thing for me, and for both of us, launching quickly, but also going hand in that is like validating the idea before launching with a product. Yeah.
Is it right in saying, 1, launch much faster, 2, learn to ask the right questions and set specific metrics that we want to hit for a specific idea?
Yes.
Before we completely send it down the rabbit hole of actually going out and building the whole thing.
Exactly. Once we do build it, or once we did build it, you feel more incentive to try and make it work. Once you poured a lot of time into a specific thing, right? So,
yes.
So it's good to define that ahead of time when you're less like invested in a certain product or anything,
yes.
So that you know what's working and what's not, right?
Yeah. Those are some dark days. Some dark days.
Yeah.
So recap. Launch quickly, and 2, ask the right questions to know if what you're launching is actually good enough before you go ahead and build it. Number 2 is I would not beat around the bush this time around if I could redo it. And what I mean by that is kind of related to your last point. Rejection is scary, and so you don't want to hear people say that an idea sucks. And so you'll ask all the questions to make them not say that you suck. And so this kind of ties into a bigger theme of finding the problem before a solution. So there's a whole term for this in the startup world. It's called SISPing, or a solution in search of a problem. All it means is that you have a product, but it doesn't actually solve any real problem that's out there. It just seems cool, and then you just start trying to shove that cool product in people's faces. Beating around the bush made it a lot harder to get to that conclusion of, oh, are we building something that's useful or are we not? And a concrete example I can give is we would show our last product to people. We'd get them on the call, and then at the end we would be, oh, so do you think it's cool? and obviously people find it hard to be an asshole straight up to your face.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a stranger that like just showed you an idea that they've been working on. And instead of asking if it's cool or not, I would give them a direct ask, oh, would you pay for it or not? I think that we found that money and asking people to pay is the best truthful indicator of what they're actually thinking about the product.
On top of beating around the bush, it also applies to after you have a customer, right? Because we had questions that I remember I was super afraid to ask, right? Let's say our product does a certain thing and there's other ways of doing it, and we're just wondering like, oh, why the customer chose us specifically? Like just avoiding those questions just because we were afraid they would churn because they're like, oh, we don't need you, we can go find another product that does this. Like, these questions, it would have been super helpful to, and we did get answers to them, just like further than I would have liked.
It took like 6 months more than
because eventually you will you will learn those. Eventually you would, that's the funny part.
You gotta rip the band-aid off.
Yeah. No. I mean, it ended up being good because you learn a lot from the tough questions.
Yes. And I think just a specific anecdote that I can give, we had one customer, we obviously won't mention their name, but we were working with them for maybe a half year, and we were paranoid about like, oh, why did they choose us versus like another quote-unquote competitor, because we didn't know if we had any value prop over that competitor. And so instead of asking him day one, oh, why did you choose us over this product? We're like, oh no, we gotta make sure he doesn't find out about that product because else we're gonna lose him.
Yeah.
And so I think that led to like a 6-month dev cycle that was ultimately super useless. And then we just ended up at the end of those 6 months asking him those questions that we should have asked at day one. And from there we just found out that, oh, it's just because we were cheaper. That was the only thing that we were providing.
Last point, picking your battles. When you're trying to make a group decision, or in terms, for us, it's just decision between us.
We're going to go powder mode.
Excuse me, we had to come back with founder vote on Alan.
Picking your battles.
Oh, picking your battles. For me, there's like decisions where maybe I had an opinion on something and maybe we disagreed on it. I realized that sometimes there were certain decisions where it's more important to make the decision fast than to like get it perfectly right. So
what ends up killing you or not isn't like the decision whether it's right or wrong. It's the if you could get over the emotions that maybe disagreement caused.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, really short video. I know it's been crickets on my channel for the last year and some change. And I thought that there's no better way to dust it off than with this video, kind of talking about the trauma, where we've been for the past year, what we've learned. And yeah, that being said, with all the things that we've learned through failing over and over and over again, we are excited to talk about something new that we've been working on. We've built an AI-driven search engine for recruiters. The idea is that recruiters can type in plain English whoever they're looking for and immediately see the best matches ranked from over 1 billion candidates worldwide. We're launching that. It's on Product Hunt. It would mean the world to both me and Albert if you guys could go down to the Product Hunt link description. It's in the description below. And if you go click on that link, you'll be asked to sign in with your Google account. And then if you could just throw us a quick upvote, that would mean the world. And yeah, that's kind of all we had. I think it's kind of interesting because the last video that I made, I think we were talking about how we were going to raise with investors. And so that's, it's been a year and then we're about to do that kind of all over again. And so it'll be cool. Looking forward to keeping you guys updated. And yeah, Product Hunt link down below. Thank you. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Sarah boys out!
Had no medicine to keep me in check. You know exactly what to say to keep me wrapped up in your chains while I'm here choking on